Welcome to Bluff Creek Podcast Radio.
I am Naama.
I am Amy, and today's special guest is
Katie Welch-Len, trend spotter for the shops at Arbor Lakes.
Thank you for joining us today.
Well,
Katie,
what is your favorite part of your job?
My favorite part of my job as a trend spotter would be to collect fashions, research what they are, so I get to look ahead into the future and see what the fashion is that's coming up, and then I get to put it together into an outfit or a segment and take it to the TV stations in town.
What does your daily day consist of?
My daily day consists of researching on the internet fashion ideas or trend ideas. So I go to a variety of websites and explore. I look at what the various fashions are that are out there, and then I take all that information that I learn and I put it into a document. So I write up whether it's an article that I'm writing about the fashions or whether it's a letter that I'm sending to the TV station about fashion or trends. So it's a lot of researching on the internet and then a lot of writing. That's what makes up most of my day.
Where did you go to school to learn about what you wanted to do?
I went to Augsburg College, and I actually thought that I was going to be a teacher. And so I started student teaching, and I did not enjoy that at all. And so I went back and got my degree in communications and decided that I wanted to work in the fashion. So my recommendation to all students is it's okay if you think that you're going to be something when you grow up and you try it, and if you don't like it, it's okay to start over.
What is your favorite food?
My favorite food is pizza, but I love to have pizza with a side salad. I feel like the two go together really, really well.
Sounds delicious.
Yeah.
Do you like picking out the outfits?
I love picking out the outfits, and the reason why I like to pick out the outfits is because I'm able to go to the shops at Arbor Lakes, and I'm able to go to any store that I want to pick out the various pieces of the outfit. So they don't tell me that I just have to stick with one store. I can go to a variety of different stores and come up with an entire outfit. So it's more well-rounded that way.
Do you like choosing for children or adults better?
I love choosing for children. That's my very favorite thing to do. And part of that is because then I can bring my daughters along, and they get to be part of it, and they get to learn and see what my job is. And oftentimes I've reached out and brought their friends before. Sometimes I put a Facebook shout out and say I'm looking for kids to help accompany me to be models. And my client likes that I don't work with a modeling agency, that I'm picking real kids, real students, and just people who want to learn more.
Sounds very interesting.
What are some fun experiences you have while doing your job?
Some fun experiences would be, again, to bring my daughters into my job. Not everybody gets the opportunity to do that. So there has been times where I've been able to bring my kids up to the shops at Arbor Lake shopping with me, and they get to try on a bunch of different outfits, things that they normally wouldn't pick out. And then I get to bring them also to the TV stations where they get to go on TV and wear these outfits, and that's just so much fun to be able to share it with my family. And I should say my husband too. He gets to be a part of it also. He's my main male model that I always go to.
Do you just do clothing, or do you also do accessories and shoes?
That's a great question. I do everything. So there are some segments or some articles that I write that are based around just strictly fashion. So for example, spring fashions, what's coming down the runway today. But Also, I do various segments and articles that are on accessories. So another example would be what's hot for the beaches, summer accessories, and something like that would be a lot of researching sunglasses, beach bags, flip-flops and sandals, summer hats, and what are people wearing when it comes to hats, water bottles and what's new with that. So, and then I get to create the whole article with those various items, and then again I can take that to the TV station and go on the air and have a tabletop with no models of just those various items.
Sounds very cool.
Is it ever hard to find like the perfect outfit?
Yes, that's another great question. There have been times where I've run into in between seasons, and the stores, I know what the trend is because I've done all that trend research already, so I know what it is, but the stores haven't even gotten it in stock yet. And that's always when I run into a challenge where I'm waiting for an item to come in. I know the trend might be short floral dresses, but it's still wintertime and they haven't put the short floral dresses out on the floor, and that's when it becomes a challenge.
Which days of the week do you work?
Well, with my job, I own my own company, so I'm able to be very flexible. And that means that I don't have exact designated days. I try to plan my schedule as a Monday through Thursday schedule. However, oftentimes I do end up working on Fridays or even the weekends. Some of the news shows are on the weekends, and so if I get booked on a news show where I have to go on the weekend, then I end up working weekends. But overall, I have a very flexible job, and I work from home, and it allows me to be able to be there for my daughters and to have that flexibility.
For your times, what times do you work? And is it hard to work on the weekends for your times?
Yeah, that's another great question. I typically start my day after I bring the girls to school. So a typical day would start around 9:15, and it would end around 2:30. However, because of the fact that when you work with the media, such as news stations, if it's a live show, you have to go with whatever time that show is on. And I do have to do a lot of juggling when it comes to those types of TV segments, because sometimes they expect you to be there at 4 in the morning for something that's going to start at 6. So it's a lot of juggling. But again, because I have such a flexible job, I don't mind it. I love what I do.
Do you put together outfits for infants and toddlers as well?
Yes, and that's always a little bit of a challenge when it comes to bringing them on the air. I remember there was one time where I had a toddler on the air on TV. It was live TV, and he had a hat on, and he took it off and he put it in front of his face. And he wouldn't take it away from his face. But that's the good thing about the TV stations. They were able to zoom in on his shoes and able to zoom in on other pieces of his article, and we got a good laugh out of it.
Sounds very funny. Do you ever have to sometimes, like on the weekends, have to like go suddenly to your work or sometimes?
Yes, there are times where I get somebody's on a deadline and I have to drop everything that I'm doing and go meet with that reporter because they're on a deadline for a story that airs. So there are times where I do have to drop everything and make those sacrifices. But again, that's just part of what I do.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Today's podcast was brought to you by Bluff Creek Podcast Radio, encouraging you to connect with someone new today.
Accept